Yes, yes. Hello, hello. Hey, hey. How's life? Everybody bearish while the price is still burning up. Yeah, yeah. All right. Clickbait titles, yes. Market is still doing fine. So today we're going to discuss something else, which is Altconnect. The market is still providing you many opportunities, as I've been discussing in previous videos. Zilliqa, I've been discussing since 70 sets. Surprised me on the upside, did not expect that to occur. We have discussed Cardano before it started to rally. We are currently discussing Stellar before it starts to run, and I still believe it's doing fine. And I still believe the market is doing fine. We are bouncing up. We might still have one more wick towards like 91, but it's okay. So I still believe that I'm going to post a video regarding this topic tomorrow. That we're getting close towards, or are actually in, for some coins, in the disbelief phase, which is a flipping point of the sentiment and of the markets, in which the bears are still there, the bulls are there, they're constantly fighting, the bears lose because the price just continues to push up and does not give you the price that you actually want to have. Does that mean that Bitcoin will just moon from here and we can't see a retrace to like mid 7Ks? Yeah, obviously we still can. However, the altcoins are just looking great. It's all an accumulation range. If we get that higher low around 7K, 7.5K, which is still a likely scenario, one of the two, it would provide a wonderful higher low. But the opportunities are there, and as you know, once Zilliqa or Cardano started to run, it's really hard to get into this one if you don't have any experience using TA. So searching the coins that are not moving yet but have a great perspective is sincerely what you should be focusing on, as this is also a period in which you can just let your coins run. You don't have to buy all in at one point, and you don't have to scale out all in at one point. You can just use it by portions and just accumulate and increase your stack, in which after a substantial rally like Zilliqa did right now, you can decrease your sizing and use it for a different coin. Also, we have had a pretty nice move yesterday on the equity markets, which retraced heavily, which is was heavily overdue. The price was rallying and overextended to the upwards momentum, the same as it was on the downwards momentum. So we're just getting into a no trade in mid-range zone, in which I believe that September and October are still going to be a period where you should be watching where the market is going to head. Do we get a second wave? If not, how heavy is the economic shock? Well, we know that it's heavy already, so how long does it last until that will reach the equity markets? So saying that the correlation is back is not entirely true. Yes, we moved together with the equity markets yesterday. However, this happens on and off. Also, before we actually discussed the correlation topic, it happened. The overall correlation in which everything panic modes and drops heavily is when there is panic on the equity markets, which can also occur if Bitcoin rallies from here to 18K and then drops to 9K. In this case, we just had a technical reason to correct a little bit on Bitcoin, and equity markets dropped alongside. Wonderful. Gold and silver did not drop, while they did in March. So if there is serious panic and a real crash coming on the equity markets, yes, we can have a liquidity crash like we've seen on March 12th. That crash or that drop, if that comes, is still a heavy opportunity. We've also witnessed such a crash on gold and silver, also provided a really good opportunity to buy back into gold and silver, as since then they have seen some substantial rallies. So the correlation topic is a debatable topic, in which I do not believe that correlation is such a high standard as some others do. I think it's just, it has been there on and off, and it will remain to be there on and off. But the only reason why I'm focused on a correlation is when there's some serious panic in the markets. So which groups can we discuss today which are not being discussed too often recently are coins in DeFi. Obviously, we can research them, we can analyze them and see where we can just get some opportunities. Majors we are not going to discuss, we've got that for tomorrow. They are going to run when BTC runs. And the most obvious one is the one that has coins which did not really have a previous cycle. And that's the group you'd want to be in, as they don't have backholders from earlier. They have free space to run. An example is Lend. That one rallied 35x from the low and it's not being shilled too much on social media. Zilliqa rallied 12x from the low and has been shilled a lot. VeChain is now performing strong. Cardano did well as well. KNC, Kyber, is starting to phase up and has a similar structure as on Lend. So what we're going to discuss is some coins that have not been discussed too much recently, which are coins like the IEOs, coins like the DeFi network, in which we're going to discuss a few. But first I'd want to go, if my computer is working, go towards KNC and Lend. So what we see here is that Lend has KNC has a very long structure in which it accumulates, flips some important levels for support. These are just standard support resistance flips, and after that it started to go parabolic. And as you can see, since then the OB over here does provide support, and we don't get an additional re-entry here. We might get it way further in the cycle. So what we see is that we're back in 2018 levels with Kyber. And where do we see an entry for Kyber right now? If you've missed this one, is that you'd want to get an entry in this zone. But if we get towards Lend, we can see the exact similar structure, in which accumulation as air flip here above 100 day and 200 day MA, which is also great, and now above the 3 days obviously as well. And constantly making SR flips and continuously started to rally to the upwards modus. So once it starts to run out of sight of such an accumulation range above the 100 day and 200 day MA, it can surprise you on the upside as well, as this one is already at April 2018, the last serious alt season. This was like 2 or 3x, and some other coins ran 4 or 5x. So where do you want to buy Lend right now? At this area. This is your zone you'd want to become interested. And it can just continue to rally until it makes a parabolic top, in which it goes ham, makes a huge blow off top. But for now it's still trending to the upside, and many coins are still moving here. So this is a great example on how to trade an upwards trend. And as we just go back towards Kyber, we can see that we have seen a similar move, in which we have seen accumulation as air flip, parabolic move, consolidation, not providing a re-entry here above the 100 day and 200 day MA as well. So where do you want to get an entry? Well, that's pretty clear. You want to get an entry in this green zone. And once you get an entry over there, if it does not continues to rally, like the next resistance is around 15k, we can see continuation towards 30k as the next heavy resistance zone. So this one is already rallying, but if we get it in the green zone, we can expect a further move of like 240%, in which the USD chart might actually move towards 285 if we hold the area around 80 to 85 cents. Might actually be, could be 86 to 90 could be a good entry. So as you can see, such a huge compression usually ends up with a big price action move. Over here as well, compression, big price action move. Now likely we get another compression move, big price action move. And the overall next target zone is 285. Well, Zilliqa is also showing a similar chart, in which it just goes parabolic and completely ham. If we get a retracement, you'd be looking at this zone around 1.5 cents, as we have been discussing. If that holds, we might be seeing a continuation towards 5 cents and maybe even 8.5 cents. Overall, right now it's another entry. You've learned that as well. So then the coins I'm watching heavily in the recent period is IEOs. I've been discussing it a few weeks ago, but I'm assuming that these coins are starting to follow up relatively soon. Given FA, given staking, ERD is also doing fine, Kava is doing fine right now. Matic is probably the one that's being influenced a lot with the margin stuff. But as we know from KNC and Lend, the structure in between the 100-day and 200-day MA is the crucial part. If one breaks above the 100-day and 200-day MA and starts to provide it as support, the next resistance zones are almost a cent, this area, and relatively higher. We can actually aim for 1.3, which would mean that we can actually aim this for another 300% rally here before we get a corrective move. Once they start to rally, the first move after such a compression is a heavy parabolic move, as we see on Zilliqa and on KNC. Similar figure on Cedar. Range high is around ½ cent, but preferably I'm assuming we're going to see a rally towards 1.1 cent, which is a rally of around 300% as well. Similar to ERD, I don't think it's done. We're just waking up over here. We've broken above the 100-day and 200-day MA, which is providing support over here, in which a breakdown obviously makes it target around here. However, if we continue to rally, the next resistance is times 2.5 from here. Next coin I'm watching is Pearl, and in this case, yes, I'm going to analyze the USD charts, as they provide me data on the USD value, and that's the largest impact you usually have. Once this holds and we continue to compress here, the next breaker I'm going to target this area, and that can be expected. As we have discussed, liquidity taken below the low, likely that we're going to see a rally towards the high, or at least above the high. Another 250% move, and from the lows even more. Another one, CTSI, starting to show up. We might actually need to go towards this one. CTSI, Cartesi, yes, thank you very much. It's a relatively new coin. Oh, okay, no data as well, which means that if there's an uptrend, which we likely see here, and we continue to range, there is just not much, in which the next resistance is around 2x from now. I'm heavily interested in the BTC pair as well, as we are consolidating here in a compression modus, just like Tomo has been doing. A breaker above the range high, and we are off towards the next level around 630. If we hold around 360 to 390 and consolidate here, I'm expecting this move to occur. So these are some coins that I'm currently watching right now. It's a very basic video, short video, but I hope you have enjoyed it, and hope you understand that the newer coins have higher risk, and therefore they are interesting to make huge moves. Market surprise you on the downside, but also surprise you on the upside. So if you like this video, please like beneath, reply, subscribe to the channel. I'll be back tomorrow with Major Saturday, in which I'm going to discuss where we are in the cycle. Thank you very much for watching.